ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनं। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। 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 ॐ ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्मपुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम, a warm welcome. ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 45 ॐ ऋतुः सुदर्शनः कालः परमेष्ठी परिग्रहः उग्रः संवत्सरो दक्षो विश्रामो विश्वदक्षिणः विस्तारस्थावरस्थाणुः प्रमाणं बीजमव्ययम् अर्थोऽनर्थो महाकोशो महाभोगो महाधनः अनिर्विण्णस्थविष्ठो भूर्धर्मयूपो महामखः नक्षत्रनेमिर्नक्षत्री क्षमः क्षामः समीहनः Yagna ijyo mahejyascha kratus satram satangatihi sarvadarshi vimuktatma sarvagno jnanamuttamam. Yagna. Yesterday we discussed the initial part of understanding this Nama, Yagna. Religion is something which is royally misunderstood, and the word is being extremely used, misused, and abused. The only reason because it is not being understood properly. Then comes the word culture. What is this culture? One needs to find out what is the source. Where did all this start from? Where did culture begin from? Where did this religion begin from? We are not out of track. We are very much in track because to understand the word Yagna, which is termed as a ritual. Basically, in our modern days, when we say Yagna, immediately it is termed as a ritual, and then call one Purohit and make him do Yagna. And finally say, in my Matrubhasha, Tamil, they say, Vadyar solpadi tarpeyami. Whatever Archaka says, tarpeyami. We don't even want to utter those sentences, those words. To that extent, we have become lazy, and we don't have any interest in learning what it is, how it is, why it is, etc. But where did all this start from? Why did it start again? Remains a question. Why it remains a question? Nobody knows the truth. Nobody has understood the source. Yesterday we said how there is nothing called Hindu in our Vedas. But Hinduism developed. We also saw how Hinduism developed. And then it is termed as a way of life. We only utter the word. This also we said yesterday. We only utter the word way of life, way of life. What is that way of life? We need to understand. Param Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji very beautifully defines this word called culture and religion. He says, a people. What do you mean by a people? A set of people, a group of people. A people living in the same geographical area for a long period of time, observing, respecting, valuing certain ways of life, certain values of life. Remember, a people in the same geographical area for a long period of time, observing certain ways of life, values of life, becomes the culture of that set of people. And we find over a period of time, in the decadence of time, various civilizations, various cultures have come up and gone. But this particular culture, this particular way of life that the Mahatmas lived along the Sindhu river, which was termed as Hindu and Hinduism, is very, very popular, not because of the title it was given Hindu or Hinduism, but because of the value systems they followed and observed. It has lived for over thousands of years, and even today it is as fresh as ever, though many people don't follow it. The value system is still adored, is still revered. Why? Dharma is the call there, and those Mahatma Santa Purushas gaining the knowledge of that Dharma, they lived for not only for improving their inner world, but they also served the society to improve the outer world. This became very, very popular. This became very, very famous all over, and people would come there to learn, gain that knowledge, gain that way of life, and go back to live a life of that kind, a life of Sanatana Dharma. And then that became the culture of the society. This Bharata Punya Bhumi was such a very extolled nation where the whole world will look up to this because of its culture. This wonderful culture which our Sanatana Dharma has offered to the society, to the humanity, is praised all over the world, and very many countries, they send their representative to learn, to gain the knowledge and come back and teach in their own country. It is very well known today. A country like Germany is promoting Sanskrit as one of the very important language. So many foreign authors would come, study, learn, gain the knowledge, and then write books to again educate their future generations. Therefore, a culture of such a kind cannot be something which is just taken for a just namesake. It has its deep roots. When these Mahatmas in their seat of meditation, when they were unable to teach the next generation, why? Because they were temporary. They have come and they would go away. In which case, what will happen to that knowledge? Therefore, the Shishya Parampara was developed. They would teach that knowledge to the student, and the student would teach again further to the other students, and there you find this knowledge went on Shravana Matrena, only by listening. The teacher would teach, the student would listen. And the students were so pure. Their mind was so wonderful. It was so quiet, undisturbed by the whims and fancies of the world, undistracted by the pleasures of the world. They could grasp those knowledge just uttered by the master. They would deeply assimilate that knowledge and again give it to their students. While this was happening, Sage Vedavyasji realized in the decadence of time, people like you and me who are not capable of just listening and learning and living that value because of the distractions, disturbances, pleasure-oriented life, whims and fancies of the world which are attracting everybody hither and thither, throwing them hither and thither. Those days will come. At that time, Shravana Matrena Jnanam will not work. Therefore, he brought all those mantras, Ashariravani mantras together and grouped them into 4 books called Rig, Yajus, Sama and Atharvana. What are they? They are all this knowledge codified and written down in script form. Sanskrit was used. Why? Because of its precise nature. No other language is as precise as Sanskrit. Therefore, Bhagavan Vedavyasji brought these Vedas and he taught them to his Shishyas, and thus came down the Parampara. Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. These gurus, they brought that knowledge, and then now today it is available in whatever form we want. Now see, culture began, and from culture came this codified form of that culture called religion. Now what is religion here? Religion is nothing but the codified written format, written books, which can guide the future generation. Religion is not one, the forms of expressions. Expressions can be any way. But religion is the codified books. Call it Bhagavad Gita, call it Upanishads, or in later days, call it Quran or Bible. They are all books to guide people to live a dharmic life, which those people along the Sindhu river lived, and we didn't know that, and it has now been given in book form. This is what is called as culture, and this is what is called as religion. Religion advises. Religion prescribes certain form of life whereby not only the man who follows it will be happier, he can also bring joy and happiness to the entire society. And what is that way of life? A life of sacrifice. There was no selfish attitudes then. Everyone came together, offered whatever they had, and made the society a beautiful place to live in. Where are we now? Think. Everybody is drowned in the so-called selfishness. Everybody is distracted in all directions to acquire, possess, indulge, embrace, enjoy all the pleasures of life, and everybody lives for one's own self, me and mine. This was never the knowledge given in the Shastras called religion. Coming to this particular nama, Yagna. Yagna is a beautiful activity given to us by the Rishi Parampara to come together and work for the sake of humanity. Yagna is just not a Havana. Yagna is not just some Homa. Yes, it had its purpose, but the main purpose was the congregation of people and offering whatever they had for the sake of all. Never for personal gains, never for selfish pleasures. Think. And that is why it is said, Yajnad bhavati parjanyaha, parjanyad anna sambhavaha. Yajnat, because of this attitude of sacrifice and the performance of such activity, the result of that was there used to be timely and appropriate volume of rain, and parjanyad anna sambhavaha. The crops used to grow beautifully in time with necessary, what is that word which can be used for that? Proteins, vitamins, etc. Necessary, healthy crops would grow, and because of that, everybody would be healthy physically. Everybody would be healthy emotionally because there was no selfish desires. And with whatever they gain, they would distribute to the entire society and live as a cohesive, lovely, beautiful family. And all that came from where? Yajna. And how is it performed? All the samagri used to be brought, Havis used to be made, and Agnaye idannamama. Never they had. It is my rice I have given. Sugar cane is from my farm. Nobody claimed anything. Think. Today, people want to give 5,000 rupees to some donation to some institution, and they will spend 50,000 for announcing that I have given 5,000. Think. Those days, Yagna, Yaga, the karma used to be performed with nobody knowing who has brought what. It would just come from all directions. Idam namama, this is not mine. Why? Everything is provided by Bhagavan. What have we produced? Think. The so-called inventions and discovery, it is only a discovery. In fact, in the world there is nothing called invention. Everything is only a discovery. And discovery means what? It had already existed. And if it had already existed, what have I done? Think. Agnaye idannamama, Agnaye swaha, I offer it to Agni Devata. If it is Varuna, Varunaye idannamama, Agni then becomes the postman. He carries that oblations to Varuna Devata, so that Varuna Devata can receive those oblations and bless the society for what it is required. Brihaspataye idannamama, Brihaspataye swaha. Idam namama. The main factor in all the yajna karma was na mama. Nothing is mine. Because that factor, nothing is mine, was there, there is no selfish attitude. Therefore, everything was such a beautiful experience. So, yajna is nothing but selfless performance of work for the sake of the entire society. And even in these yajnas, 4 major classifications are being said. For what? Let us see. Sarva yajna swarupatvat yajna. 2 points I will say before getting into this classification. The Shastras say, he, Bhagavan Vishnu, exists in the very form of yajna itself. Therefore, when we say yajna, it is not just the homa, it is Bhagavan himself. All rituals are he himself. And the second one says, Sarvesham Devanam Tushtikarakaha. Tushtikarakaha, the one who brings happiness to everyone, Yajnakarena, through all the yajnas, Pravartate itiva, Yajnaha, the one who is the bestower of happiness, the one who blesses with happiness to all the entire society, the one who come together and perform yajna, he is also Bhagavan alone. Though so many people can bring so many things, the purpose, the ultimate result of all that activity is happiness. Happiness meaning what? It is not pleasure. Pleasure for pleasure, Bhagavan actually need not do anything. We can find our own way of finding pleasures, which we do anyway, and which alone we do anyway. But Bhagavan gives happiness, which is eternal happiness. Therefore, also he is called Yajnaha. Having said that, we will now see the 4 different types of main classification. One is called Deva Yajna, second one Pitri Yajna, third Manushya Yajna, and fourth Bhuta Yajna. 4 types of Yajna. Here, Yajna is taken in the form of service. Service is what? Offering my might for the sake of the good of others. Service. First one is called Deva Yajna. Now here, I am not doing service to Deva. I am doing this Yajna propitiating all the Devatas. We all know about it. Very many times we have discussed. All the Devatas have a portfolio. They have been performing their work with all, sincerity, dharmic way, they all performing. That is why the world is going on very well. To propitiate, then the question comes, Swamiji, why should we propitiate Devatas? Devatas do not ask for propitiation, please. It is our sense of gratitude. It is our sense of gratitude that we offer. Why? Because we have been receiving. When the creation started, the Devatas offered the very creation itself to the Adi Deva. As what? As their attitude of gratitude. They offered. Even seasons were offered. We see in Purusha Suktam. Coming back, Deva Yagna is what? An offering to the Devatas as a sense of gratitude. But what has happened over a period of time? We offer the same thing with a begging bowl. Bhagavan, I will do this. You give me this. So it is as good as what? Bribing Bhagavan. I want my son to get MBBS, what is it? MD. I want him to become a great doctor. Then what do? 11 and a quarter rupees I tie in one small yellow cloth and offer that at the feet of Bhagavan. Bhagavan, this Kanika I have given, now you make my son a daughter. 11 and a quarter rupees to Bhagavan. For what? Making the son a great doctor. Think. But what does that actually mean? That 11 and a quarter rupees is a representation. It is a reminder. For whom? For me, that I have to be at the feet of Bhagavan with all sense of surrender. I do the job of educating my son. I offer my prayers. I will come to Tirupati. Let me get Karnataka state lottery. Think. So our prayers are no more prayers. It is nothing but beggary. That cannot be called as yajna. What is a yajna? Yajna is performed with a sense of no selfishness. Asking nothing, demanding nothing, anticipating nothing, expecting nothing for myself, but definitely working towards the common cause. Think. 483 million worked for a common cause, we got the freedom of the nation. Now we don't have a common cause. Everybody is looting the country. Think. Deva Yajna is when I offer my salutation. I offer my sense of gratitude to the Devata through the form of Havis and then say, Idam na mama. And when thus, I do it with love. I do it with devotion. I do it with care. I do it with all my energy, physical, emotional and intellectual energies. When I offer that, why will not I get the best of everything? Bhagavan will bless. Bhagavan is waiting to bless. Think. Deva Yajna. Also, during those yajnas, common cause may be for rains, proper rains, etc. When they used to do, rain would come. Why? Because of the sincerity. It is a sincerity, non-selfishness that matters. Deva Yajna. Pitra Yajna. Pitra Yajna has got two types. Normally we think Pitra Yajna means doing some havana for Pitras. That is one type. But real Pitra Yajna is following their instructions, following their guidelines, following their teachings. Very many times we find in families the son and the daughter-in-law never takes care of the elders at home properly. They go on shouting at them. They go on finding fault. They go on, spatting at them. And after they go away, then all the tithis are being performed. For what? Waste of time. Param Puja Gurudev once said, if you can take care of your parents while they are alive. So many houses, the elders are not taken care, they are considered to be a burden in the house. Therefore, they go and leave the elders in all the old age homes and orphanage areas and things like that. They pay some money and say, now I can't take care, you take care. Why? Because I want to live a very pleasurable life. Please remember, such people will pay a very high price in their life. The elders used to say, for such people who want to be happy in their life, who want to enjoy pleasure in their life, who leave the parents in old age homes for the sake of enjoying life, such people will have to find other old age homes when they become old, because their children will not take care of them properly. Like how you send the elders to the old age home, the children also will send you to much worse old age homes. Karma phala will never leave you. What is Pitri Yagna? First and foremost, taking care of our elderly people with love and care. Remember all the sacrifices that they have done when we were children. The amount of pleasures they gave us, and experiencing pain for that. Think. Yagna here again is not just the homa alone, that also matters, but more importantly, I have to take care of my elderly people. That can also be called as yagna itself. This ability, this capacity to accept the elders as they are and serve them, demanding nothing, asking nothing, not anticipating that all their property will come, therefore for that sake I will keep them alive. No. Serving them without any expectation is Pitri Yagna. Not after they go. While serving them, keeping them happy, and then after they go, performing the duties, the antima karya, etc. Even then, when I do it joyfully, with love, with dedication, with devotion, when I do, their blessings will be eternal. That will definitely protect all of us. Today, we first of all have gone away. We keep them away from us so that I can be happy. Why? Generation gap, Swamiji. What is generation gap? We are growing in technology, in modern ways of life. They have not seen that life, that's all. Therefore, they cannot understand the modern ways of life. Accommodate them. How much have they accommodated all of us with all our pranks and troubles which we have given them? Haven't they accommodated us? Though taking care of them in spite of everything is Pitri Yagna. Not just offering ghee and harvest in the homa and then keeping on shouting at them. Think. Pitri Yagna. These are all very important factors. Now this explanation what I have given goes with the modern lifestyles. In the earlier days, ancient days, Pitri Yagna was Shraddha Karma Ityadi, was very done devotionally, but before they passed away, they were taken care extremely well. Think. Not for the sake of doing, but they loved to take care of the elders. Therefore, happiness alone prevailed. Think. Pitri Yagna. Third one is called Manushya Yagna. What is Manushya Yagna? I don't do sacrifice for the sake of humanity. Yes, I do in certain cases, but most importantly, when we have to relate it to modern times, Manushya Yagna is simple. First step is being human. Be a human first. And then serve humanity. How do I serve humanity? There are umpteen ways to serve humanity. There is nothing called a prescribed list for that. We have been given an intelligence. We know what is right and what is wrong. We know how I have to serve the humanity, my neighbor, my community, my society, my nation, internationally. We have to serve. Why? Naraseva, Narayana Seva, Janaseva, Janardana Seva, it is said. Think. Therefore, serving the humanity is also a yajna. And how do I serve? I have to serve as and when it comes up and the way it is required. You know, the very funny example is being given. I want to serve humanity. Therefore, I go on the road. Some old man is walking on the road. I hold his hand. I push him to the other side of the road. Leave him and come. I helped him cross the road. He never wanted to go there. Think. That is not what is called a seva. Seva is when I look for the requirement of the society and I also offer my society, offer my part and not claim I offered. Idam na mama. Manushya. And you can you don't have to go out in the society and then find out some organization. Hello, you want some seva? I am available, I will come. No. The first seva is at your own home. Take care of your own parents properly. Take care of your own children properly without cribbing. You know that attitude? What to do? I have to do. Therefore, suffering supplied free. Disturbance supplied free. Instead of HA, have to do, remove HA, replace with LO. I love to do. And then you will find there is so much of joy in doing. Isn't it? How many times the mothers have cooked excellent food out of love, and when they serve, whatever little deficiencies may be, still I love that food. I will enjoy that food. Wow, this is so yummy. And then I eat. It is so yummy because not just because of the ingredients, but the main ingredient is the love of the mother. Think. Anything that is done with love is always beautiful, is always tasty, is always wonderful, is definitely a source of all happiness. Therefore, Manushya Yagna is serving the society, serving humanity. Think. Manushya Yagna. And fourth one, Bhuta Yagna. What is Bhuta Yagna? Serving the entire creation. A very, very important factor. Very many times we don't serve creation, we actually disturb creation. Think. Especially during this time now, we can relate very well during this corona period, if not now, at least a little earlier, in the beginning stage of corona, when everything was on lockdown, so many dogs and so many other creatures in the world died because of starvation. Think. There were so many organizations, they went up and then collected food and went street after street and served the street dogs and other animals. In fact, thanks to all of them who had done such wonderful work. It's very important. When an occasion comes when I have to serve, when they require some help, it is our duty. It is not that, okay, let me do this. Because you ask me, I will do. No. Every human being's duty is to take care of nature. Think. How many times the government has said, don't cut trees. Why? Trees are source of oxygen, source of so many things. We cut the trees and so many concrete structures are being put. And today, nature shows back, gives back. Think. So many confusions are there. Climate change, ozone layer issue. So many issues of climate have come. Why? Because we have not taken care of the climate. We have not taken care of the nature. We have not taken care of the other species which are living along with us. You know something? Every species is useful in helping humanity to live their life. Every species is important. Oh, I don't have anything to do with that bird. But it is that bird because of which trees grow. You have to understand science. Now I am not conducting a science class. Therefore, all those procedures I will not say. Please go and learn. Every Jiva Rashi, right from the unicellular organism to the multi-complex humanity, every single creature, 84 lakhs of species, every one of them are important. Therefore, it is our duty, utmost duty, to take care of the nature, to take care of Sarva Bhutani. Therefore, work towards that. Swamiji, I am not able to take care of my own family. How will I go and take care of them? Doesn't matter. 2% you give for the sake of taking care of them. 1% of your earnings, you keep it aside for the sake of nature. Not much is required. Your leftover food, instead of just throwing it, give it to some animal. They will gain. Think. Everything can be done. That bhava should be there. Now when we say yagna, it is more the bhavana that is very important. The bhavana of offering, the bhavana of sacrifice, the bhavana of letting go for the sake of others. This is yagna. While these four becomes the main categories, there are few more categories which are told by the Shastra. Dravya yagna. What is dravya yagna? Offering dravya. When a big particular program is happening, giving whatever I can, if not in cash, in kind. Dravya yagna. This is one example I have given. You have to sit down and think what are all the dravya yagnas possible for us to offer so that the society is taken care. Dravya yagna. Tapo yagna. Tapas is also a yagna. It is not that all the time. I keep telling this very often. It is not all the time we do yagna yagadi karma for everything. Sometimes tapas. What is this tapas? Austerity. What is austerity? Discipline. Me taking up some austerity, some tapas for what? For my own growth will also stop me troubling others. Gurudev used to say. You take tapas, why? At least during that period world will be shanti, in peace, he would say. But what is the purpose here? Tapas is austerity. Austerity is when I withdraw my wasteful energy and direct them, channelize them, reorient them towards productive field of activity. Is tapas. And thus, even this very many of our elders must have told us, 5 minutes you sit and perform tapas. Tapas meaning what? Perform japa. Perform some shloka, chant some shloka. Sit quiet. Sitting quiet is such a major source of energy, please. Yaf pashyati sapashyati. Only the one who sits will understand the joy of being quiet. Gurudev used to say, listen to the roar of your silence. So much of energy is again gained by being quiet. Austerities, puja, ityadi also is one kind of austerity, but major kind of austerities when I take up a disciplined life for the sake of disciplining my own mind. Similar is yoga yagna. Yoga here can mean Raja Yoga. All the yoga asanas, etc. What you do, by that we gain lot of energy. I discipline my physical body. I discipline my emotional mind. And with that disciplined body, disciplined mind, when I serve the nation, the effect, the efficiency of that seva is multiplied. Therefore, all such yajnas are what? My ability to serve, to give. Therefore, in that giving, what is main here is that attitude, that goodness. And that comes from my inner self. And the very pradhana devata of my inner self is Bhagavan, and therefore he is also called Yagna. Now see, Swadhyaya Yagna. What is that Yagna here? Here Yagna can be taken as discipline of what? Swadhyaya, study. Study of what? Study of my own self properly. And that is the subject matter of all the Shastras. I have to study. Even in the Laukika Jivana, a person who wants to become a doctor must sit and study. Is it not? Without proper study, one may not become a proper doctor. Certificate you may get if you pay money, but you won't become a doctor. Isn't it? Person who does not study engineering properly will become a cancer in the society. Think. Self-study. Study meaning what? Ability to understand and become efficient. And what is efficient? Efficiency is the capacity to bring proficiency into expression, says Gurudev. Whatever I have studied, it must translate in the form of my activity, my seva to the society. Therefore, if I have to serve the society, I must become an excellent engineer, an engineer who will not lead towards calamities or problems, but an engineer who will uphold. Think. Therefore, study is extremely important. And gaining knowledge, Jnana Yagna. Jnana Yagna has two aspects. One is gaining knowledge. Another one is giving knowledge to others. Offering knowledge. Serving not things but jnanam. Therefore, it is called Jnana Yagna. Bhagavad Gita also refers to Jnana Yagna. Parampuja Gurudev started Gita Jnana Yagna, Upanishad Jnana Yagna. And we also have heard Acharyas taking Ramana Jnana Yagna Ityadi. What is that? All the teachings are being offered, are being given, are being prescribed, are being taught to every humanity so that they also gain the benefits of the knowledge and reorient their life, mold their life. Think. And then the whole world will become a beautiful place to live in. Japa Yagna. What is Japa Yagna? Taking to Japa. Sincerely sitting and doing Japa for what? Quietening the mind. All our yajnas are basically, finally, boils down to quietening the mind and experiencing that Parabrahma Swarupa Paramatma, Bhagavan in me, as me. Think. We will continue tomorrow. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.